Hey guys, I am so excited to come to you today and welcome you to our new novel. Now, I want to be clear, I'm recording this on Monday. I want you to listen to this as kind of your homework assignment as you start as we start into this. But we have another reading we're doing as a class, so make sure you check that out on Google Classroom. With that said, I wanted to get us back into the novel right away, as I promised. So let's take a quick peek at the cover. The title is The Game of Silence, and the author is Louise Erdrich, and it's pronounced Erdrich without the ch at the end, just Erdrich. This is the sequel to the book The Birch Bark House. The Birch Bark House, and I don't actually have that one on my desk. So if you didn't read The Birch Bark House yet, that's fine. You can go back and reread it if you like this one, or but the Game of Silence kind of stands on its own. There's a little bit of background that you can catch up on, but we'll just start the novel. So let's take a look at what the book looks like. It's dedicated to Aza magazines, and again, I'm going to struggle, I'll tell you right away, with the Ojibwe-Moan pronunciation, and I'll look forward to you guys helping me with that as I get it wrong and you teach me. Table of contents, and let's get started. This is the prologue. A prologue is the little bit before the main part of the story starts that gives you a bit of a taste, a bit of background information. So let's go. Prologue. 6 black dots wavered on the far shore. Omachaius was the first to see them approach over the glittering waves, but there was no reason to call anyone yet. The sun was high, the wind against the travelers. There would be enough time. She was standing on her favorite rock, and she was thinking. Omachaius liked to arrange things in her mind. When she was deep in thought, she did not like to disturb herself, especially if her subject was as important as the order of all she loved. The dots became the prows of canoes, jimanan. One by one, the tiny sticks of people and paddles appeared, heading right for Moningwanakanig, her island, the island of the golden-breasted woodpecker. She skipped a flat rock 4 skips, and then another 4 skips, 8. One for each of those she loved the best. Carefully, Omachaius set the names into a design. There was Andeg, her pet crow, black wings and a clever beak. Andeg was perched in a branch above the lake shore, cleaning his feathers. He flew to her now and landed on her shoulder. He knew she carried hazelnuts for him. Omachaius fed him a nut and kept thinking. There was Nokomis, her kind and accepting grandmother, the one who taught her to love plants and to use them as medicine. Next came Old Tallow. The thought of the old woman made her heart beat faster. Her love for the hunter Old Tallow was a fierce and tangled ball of feeling. As for her love for her brother Pinch, it actually stung the roots of her hair. That was easy enough to feel. Pinch had pulled her braids only moments before, then ran away. Underneath these loves was love for her older sister, Angeline, so beautiful and scarred, and of course her mother, even when she got mad, and her father, even when he was stern and distant. These loves were strong as earth. Last, there was the love-loss of her tiniest brother, Niwo, who died 2 years ago during the smallpox winter of 1847. That love was a deep, black hole, bitter and profound. She thought of these loves as she watched the 6 jimanan approach across the rough water. Andeg hopped down and plucked at her dress for another hazelnut. She took one from a small bag she kept at her waist, clenched it between her teeth, and smiled at Andeg. The crow knew the game and stretched its neck to delicately pluck the nut from Omachaius. She sat down to wait, then lay back in the sun and squinted at the jimanan. The party of canoes was battling a stiff wind offshore, but where she sat, the air was calm. Her name, Omachaius, meant little frog. She was 9 winters old. On that rich early summer day, the jimanan approaching with possible excitement, anything seemed possible. The picture enlarged. She could now see people of all ages in the jimanan, including children. Omachaius jumped up and stared hard. Her interest was stirred. So many people weren't coming just to visit family as if they were coming to trade. There would be packs of skins visible. None were apparent. The presence of women and children meant that these people had left behind their camps and homes. As they drew closer now, she saw the poorness of the canoes. Some of them struggled to float. Behind the lead paddlers, the passengers bailed for their lives. No eagle feathers, beads, or red vermilion paint decorated the headmen. There were no ribbons or beads on the clothing of the women. The poor rags barely covered them. Omakayas shouted. They were close enough for her to see the expressions on their faces, open and pleading. She began to run, and Andag dived after her. Something was wrong. She didn't know what. It was a day she would think of long after as one in which her fate, and that of her family, took a great looping turn. There's our picture of our frog, our little frog. That's important because Omakayas means little frog. Okay, so that's the prologue. That's where the book starts. And I'm just going to let you sit with that prologue, answer the question on Google Classroom, and I will see you tomorrow.